Hello, my name is Manjeet Kripalani and I am the Executive Director and co-founder of a foreign policy think tank in Mumbai called Gateway House. Today I'm going to speak to you about two things that matter to me in equality in public life. Two major areas in public life need strengthening, particularly in India. One is the re-entry of the middle class in Indian politics, and second is the building of institutions, both public and private. Let's start with the politics. I have been an active part of three major election campaigns. The first in 1995-96, when Steve Forbes ran on the Republican ticket for US President. Then in 2009 with Meera Sanyal, the former banker CEO who ran for the Lok Sabha parliamentary elections, and in 2014 again with Meera Sanyal in Mumbai, India. Neither Steve nor Meera made it, but both changed their countries forever. They were early visionaries of what countries needed. Steve's was a small team, just 32 people. His opponent, Bob Dole, had 202. It was David versus Goliath. But Steve used technology to enhance his message and his prospects, advertising on television and on the electronic media for the first time. He was a reassuring face for those who wanted to see decency in politics and that everybody could run for politics. Political influence didn't matter, the message mattered. Neither Steve nor Bob Dole won, and Bill Clinton was re-elected. But Steve's campaign and his message that Washington's inside the Beltway politics needed to change, that took 20 years to play out before another outsider, Donald Trump, was elected to the White House. In Mumbai, the most devastating terrorist attack on Indian soil took place on 26 November 2008, when our city's iconic hotels and railway stations were under siege for 3 days by terrorists. The middle class, protected by their private sector jobs and their private education, was in shock. Was this really happening to us? The political class could not respond and left the city devastated. It woke up the country's middle class and made them think about joining politics. So Meera Sanyal, the CEO of RBS Bank, a foreign multinational bank in Mumbai and a very successful banker, she was also the daughter of a decorated Navy admiral and historian. Meera decided to run for election as an independent candidate. It was an inspiring move, with hundreds of like-minded middle class and the elite joining her mission to change the city and her country. Two other middle-class elite candidates put in their bid for a seat in parliament too. Malika Sarabhai, the famous dancer from Ahmedabad city, and Captain Gobinath, owner of a startup low-cost airline called Deccan Airways, stood from Bangalore. Through these campaigns, the middle class of India learned about the issues that mattered and that they could contribute to it in politics. From Bombay to Bihar, hundreds of young MBAs came out to build campaigns and to run them. Indian youth studying in the US contributed to the use of new technology for the campaigns, as did youth from all economic and social backgrounds who wanted to participate in clean politics. Bombay and Delhi were the centers of this middle class movement. It led to the anti-corruption movement in India, to the rise of the Aam Aadmi Party, the party of the ordinary man in Delhi, and to win in Delhi's state elections, where the Aam Aadmi Party still occupies office. Meera, Malika and Captain Gopinath didn't win, but they changed India. They showed people that politics was a noble endeavor. It was a public service. It wasn't a place to make money and to ruin economies. The rise of the BJP absorbed many of the middle class's goals and delivered on it, particularly in areas of corruption and in the building of infrastructure. But the middle class in India have gone back into their hole and are no longer seen in public life. Once again, they have receded into their bubble of private education and private jobs. The reasons are two. In Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party has become a one-man show, that of the Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal. He has put a lid on the participation of anyone else. The middle class that supported him, both financially and with ideas, have been left out. In Mumbai, the Shiv Sena maneuvered to take over the office of Chief Minister and mark the return of the goons and mafia in city politics. There is no place for the middle class to go. Part of the reason that the mysterious death of a young, aspiring middle class actor from Bihar, Sushant Singh Rajput, who came to Bollywood and rose to fame, has caused such consternation in the country is that he is seen to be the embodiment of those middle class values and aspirations which have vanished not just from public life but from all aspects of Indian life. The West is successful because this middle class is deeply engaged in its political system, and that political system is supported by institutions that invest in deep research and technocratic knowledge. Which brings me to the institutions in India. Institutions are the pillars of countries, from think tanks to libraries to educational institutes to museums, arts and cultural centers, and societal studies. These provide the ideas for the future, help to resolve the problems of the present by using evidence-based input and outcome, and develop processes which endure. From the ramparts of these institutions, companies and societies, and countries and societies soar. Around the world, the pillars that hold up the institutions are largely women. Look around you. In the libraries, the women will be occupying the posts that are the most important and the most supportive. In companies, in institutions, everywhere, even in political parties. But they're rarely seen and they rarely occupy the top job. But very, very few institutions are also built by women, almost none. Gateway House is a two-woman founded think tank, and it is rare. Thanks to a greater awareness of gender equality, women are now increasingly in the world of business and entrepreneurship. Their numbers are growing, but almost none are in the business of building institutions. First, it's too hard. The motivation is like politics. It's a nobler cause, an investment in the future. The return on investment is too long and too far away and maybe not even visible. There's no immediate ROE. It's a generational endeavor. Second, there's very little funding for it. Starting a business has a clear return on investment and time. A 5-year struggle for a startup can end in a profitable exit. But starting an institution is very much like a business, except it's not for profit, and it's building those pillars that countries stand on. They're not always visible, but they matter. I hope the funders of commercial startups will see the virtue in building institutions. I hope that women will be at the forefront of these early sightings of institutional strength. They have the commitment, endurance, and vision to look into the future. Thank you.